Okay, so let us start with a formal welcome to all of you. I think big thank you not to all of you on behalf of Ahmedabad Management Association, and you're coming here. It's a big evidence that you have a lot of passion and interest to know about design in the age of intelligence. So before we start the program, today's open forum in AMA. This is a open forum and we do it regularly. Just ensure that if you have your smartphone, keep it to silent or vibration mode, right? So you can also focus and it don't disturb others. Point number two, before we start the program, I think if you have any questions, queries, speakers will give you some time to respond at the completion of their input, right? And last, very important, feedback is a breakfast for champion. So ensure that you leave your feedback before you go and leave the sessions here. So that will give us an opportunity to continuously improve our programs and the open forum here. So without taking much time and before going to the introduction, when we had this topic, design in the age of intelligence, a lot of things came top of my mind, right, as a part of AMA family. Actually, I'm Dr. Paresh Karya, part of AMA, hardcore corporate professionals, but I'm with AMA for more than 23 years now, the past chairman of AMA in programs and public relations. So when we took this topic, design in the age of intelligence, many things came top of my mind. I don't know, Dhaval Bhai and Anupam Bhai will address that. But when I say design in the age of, age of intelligence, many things came that what sort of creativity, what sort of out of the box, what sort of transformation, what sort of analogy you will be bringing here. So many things will come. So keep mind open. And if anything you think it is unaddressed, I think you can talk to them after the session. So coming back to the mainstream, I have an honor to introduce both the speakers today. So first, Dhaval Joshi. He is the founder of SIMULABS, helping media agencies and brands leverage generative AI. Prior to this, Dhaval led the innovation team at Transcend Games in China, focusing on AI, AR and VR projects. Dhaval also helped establish the UX research practice at Microsoft Hardware, which was at Shenzhen, right? Shenzhen. And he also worked with Nokia Research and Motorola Research. I think both are MNC, in India, developing culturally aligned technology solution. I think this is also a big job, culturally aligned job. I work in MNC, I know. Active in academics, he has taught at institutions such as Nirma University, Georgia Technology and National Institute of Design. I think these are all famous, well known. Basically just bringing industry and academics together, right? He holds 12 granted US patents and 2 EU patents for his work in AI, AR, VR and mobility. Mr. Dhaval Joshi, also visiting professor at DA-IICT, that is Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Informations and Communication Technology, for the Intelligent UX Design Program, which is very interesting. So thank you, Dhaval. Welcome on behalf of Ahmedabad Management Association. So thank you, Dhaval, and it's very impressive, your contribution. Coming to our another speaker, Anupam ji, Rana. He's also, both are equal expert according to me. So Professor Anupam Rana is a design educator, UX researcher, and convener of Intelligent UX Design Program at DA-IICT, DAU, Gandhinagar. He has more than 23 years of experience, and prior to this, Dr. Rana served as a course coordinator and professor of accessory design at NIFT, Gandhinagar. and even NIFT Shillong. He is actively engaged in consultancy project in jewelry technology, retail experience design, and curriculum design. Dr. Anupam Rana has published many quality research papers in journals and conferences of both, global and national reputes. So, Anupam ji, warm welcome on behalf. So, without taking much time, I think I'll first request Dhaval ji to initiate.
Great. Good evening. All right. I'm so excited to be here. Language-wise, shall we use English, Hindi? Chalega? Yeah? Okay, great. Super. So I think we already had intro, so I'm not going to delve into that. I graduated from NID really long time ago, so familiar with Ahmedabad, but then moved out. I used to live in China for about 10 years and came back in COVID. So if COVID did not happen, I would be there still. But anyways, maybe that's what destiny is. So after coming back to India, I started this thing called SIMULABS, and we basically do creative automation solutions for the advertising industry. Most of our clients are in Southeast Asia. We don't have any clients in India yet. But yeah, that's what we do. So whatever I'm going to talk is from how an industry person thinks. Okay, so this is just my perspective. I could be totally wrong. I could be way sort of, in different area than how you think. So this is just a perspective. Okay, so there is nothing right or wrong. So please don't judge me very harshly, I would say. All right. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about 4 sort of themes or topics that I'm seeing now, from an industry point of view. And being in the industry for about 20 years after I graduated from NID, there is a lot of change in how creativity or even design has, sort of come across or sort of has evolved. So this is a very high level view. You can say maybe a 40,000 feet view. I'm not going to talk about tools and methods and things, but just going to share some patterns. मतलब क्या चल रहा है, क्या trend चल रहा है, right? और industry के लोग कैसे देख रहे हैं AI को, right? And then you may take your own learnings from what I share. Okay. So the first thing that we are observing is creativity automation. Okay. And what I mean by this is traditionally, in fact, अभी तक हम लोग सब सोचते थे कि क्रिएटिविटी बहुत ही एक ह्यूमन ट्रेट है, उसको कभी टेक्नोलॉजी छू नहीं सकती. इट्स लाइक it's such a human thing, right? How can technology sort of do that or work in that area? But that is not true anymore. Already there are signs where we are seeing कि AI can do some stuff more creatively than humans. Okay, so from a research point of view, चीज़ें काफ़ी आगे हैं, but from an industry point of view, there are some things, right? And I'm sure part of it is already experienced by you in your everyday life, right? So we are in this generation called me. So everything is about me, right? आप लॉग इन करो स्विगी में तो आपका एक कस्टमाइज स्क्रीन है, आप अमेजोन पे जाओ तो बेस्ड ऑन योर हैबिट्स योर स्क्रीन इज पर्सनलाइज, राइट? सो पहले क्या होता था कि these sort of personalizations were designed by some rules, like people used to understand कि अच्छा ये यूज़र का बिहेवियर क्या है, उसने क्या शॉप किया है वगैरह वगैरह. But now AI is bringing efficiency into this, so you don't need to even understand the user. आप एक AI प्रोग्राम को एक प्रोफाइल दे दो यूज़र का, they will figure out what is right and what is wrong, what could be there, what could not be there, things like that. तो ये स्टार्टिंग आप ऑलरेडी देख रहे हो, राइट? पर वहाँ कस्टमाइजेशन से अभी पर्सनलाइजेशन पे बात आगे जा चुकी है, राइट? सो फॉर एग्जांपल दिस डेयरी मिल्क, they launched a campaign where you can personalize a physical packaging. I'm not talking about digital, कि आपको किसी को गिफ्ट करना है, किसी का birthday for example, right? So you can put a picture of that and then send a gift. Now this can be done by hands, but it would be so slow, right? They have launched this at a national level. मतलब पूरे इंडिया में ये सर्विस अवेलेबल है, right? So this possibility would not have been there if there was no sort of back-end technology that was sort of supporting it. And we are as a society, we have started focusing on our individual selves more than what we used to maybe 5 or 10 years ago. मतलब वेस्ट में ऐसा होता था कि हम वो लोग बहुत ही इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक सोसाइटी पहले से ही थे. India was not like that, but now we are seeing that, and that is why we are seeing different brands or different companies coming up with personalization sort of technologies, right? Similarly, virtual try-on is also a very popular thing. पहले ये थोड़ा novelty था. अभी you can, before you buy a product, let's say you are sitting in your home, you can use a mobile phone and just sort of see what you are buying, how it applies on your face. So it gives you confidence before buying, like ये मेरे पे अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं, right? Again, was not possible before. So what does this mean for companies or businesses? It means that there is more transparency. कि brand awareness, brand transparency, confidence बहुत ही clearly communicate हो जाता है, जो पहले possible नहीं था. पहले आप ads show करते थे, उसमें बहुत ही beautiful model होगी, वो लिपस्टिक लगा के आएगी. But then you are not like that model. आप सोचोगे नहीं उस पर अच्छा लगेगा, but maybe मेरे पे अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. But now with technology you can do that. So mass personalization as a theme आप future में देखोगे बहुत ही ज़्यादा popular होने वाला है. Okay, so just keep an eye on this theme of mass personalization. All right. Second thing is we have officially moved into something called as attention economy, right? जैसे economy होता है ना, ट्रेडिंग इकोनॉमी, स्टॉक इकोनॉमी, व्हाटएवर. तो आई हैव लिव्ड इन चाइना फॉर अबाउट 10 years बिफोर मूविंग बैक. चाइना में बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ें होती थी, अभी भी होती है. दे आर इन अ डिफरेंट यूनिवर्स. वो लोग वेस्ट से भी आगे हैं, अपनी सोसाइटी अलग लेवल पे चलती है यूनिवर्स पे. सो देर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज, बिकॉज अटेंशन इज सो स्केर्स नाउ, राइट? तो फॉर्मेट्स भी चेंज हो रहे हैं. अगर आपने देखा होगा पहले लॉन्ग फॉर्म वीडियोस होते थे, अभी शॉर्ट्स पॉपुलर होने लगे हैं, राइट? तो वो धीरे 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 कंप्रेस होता जा रहा है. सो नाउ देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज माइक्रो ड्रामाज. मतलब वो 30 सेकेंड्स में या 45 सेकेंड्स में एक माइक्रो ड्रामा होगा, एक इवेंट होगा, फिर कुछ समथिंग इज अबाउट टू बी अनवील्ड, बट दे विल स्टॉप इट. इफ यू वांट टू सी द नेक्स्ट एपिसोड, you pay a micro payment. Maybe it's 10 cents or 12 cents or $1 or whatever that thing is, right? So, I mean, everything is, in bite sized. And that's very interesting. So, usse kya ho raha hai ki this whole idea of consuming information in small pieces is also translating into real world things. For example, education, like I teach out of my own interest. मैं increasingly देख रहा हूँ कि 1 घंटे का क्लास, मतलब वो 15-20 मिनट तो बहुत हो गए. After that, I cannot hold their attention. It's impossible for me to do that. It's not because students have become more dumber or something like that. It's just that because they're exposed to social media, एक habit बन गई है कि मुझे खाली relevant information दो 20-30 seconds में, बाकी ज़्यादा don't bore me with unrelated sort of facts, right? So they want like precise information. So that is already happening. And we are already seeing this trend being used by companies, right? So this idea of like, teach me how to do something in 30 seconds, fut, just do that. So for designers, and of course, there is this whole idea of memification of everything, right? हम लोग memes देखते हैं, we laugh at it, but actually अगर उसका आप psychological basis देखो memes का, तो वो क्या है, right? You are trying to communicate a message or a concept in a very very short period of time, right? तो आप ठीक है, मीम से मजाक भी उड़ रहा है, it's a way to sort of communicate information, but basically you are compressing that information in a very very short period of time, that in 5 seconds you get the whole thing, right? So that's the beauty of memifications. So अभी memification मजाक से लेके ब्रांडिंग में भी आ गया है, जहाँ पे ब्रांड वैल्यू, ब्रांड ट्रांसपेरेंसी, प्रोडक्ट ऑफरिंग are being communicated using memes, right? Which was not there before. So again, if you are a designer or like professionals like us who are, trying to communicate a message, to the users, हमारे लिए challenge अभी ये हो गया है कि how do you compress this in such, like one slide, one picture or 30 seconds? तो पहले बहुत दिमाग लगाना पड़ता था इसके लिए, like you should have years of experience, आपको शायद कुछ मास कम्युनिकेशन का कुछ नॉलेज होना चाहिए था, या फिर मे बी यू आर अ गुड फिल्म डिज़ाइनर और वट एवर. बट विथ AI, now this has become super easy. So even if you don't have the knowledge of how to communicate, to generate these kind of things, अभी tools and technology available है, right? तो क्या हुआ है कि डिज़ाइन प्रोसेस जो पहले होता था कि आप आइडिया है लेकिन आपको स्किल चाहिए कुछ बनाने के लिए, तो वो जो स्किल वाला पार्ट है वो टेक्नोलॉजी हैज़ ओवरटेकन इट इन अ वे. आई एम नॉट सेइंग 100%. So it has compressed the whole process. That means if you have an idea and if you want to build something, you don't really need to learn how to draw, how to use this, how to paint, film आती है नहीं आती, वीडियो शूट करना आता है नहीं. There are technologies and tools available. आप उससे डील करो, वो आपको हेल्प करेगा अचीव करने के लिए आपको जो अचीव करना है. एंड इट्स अ ह्यूज थिंग बिकॉज अगेन क्रिएटिविटी का ऑटोमेशन हो रहा है यहाँ पे. ओके, द थर्ड थिंग इज डेटा कंटेंट and AI, so the relationship of it. So when we say data, what I mean is literally data is everywhere, right? So I'm not talking about digital data. मतलब actually मैं भी डेटा हूँ, आप भी डेटा हो. मेरा नाम है धवल, मेरा कुछ और डेटा होगा. Same way आप का नाम है, आप कहाँ से आए हो. Everything is literally data, right? And of course, data is everywhere. It is not that we are only looking at certain social media or whatever. So I think ये हमें थोड़ा understanding अपना data का बढ़ाना पड़ेगा कि data could be offline, data could be tangible also. मतलब everything, including the seat and everything, is data. If you think from a technology point of view, right? And this consumption of data or information has evolved. पहले जैसे simple example में हम print media से consume करते थे, अभी digital platforms आ गए हैं, right? So that is happening. So what has changed? Something has changed in recent past. So ChatGPT आप किसी ने ChatGPT use करते हो? Oh great, I think most of the people use ChatGPT, right? So GPT took 60 days to reach 100 million users. It is the fastest adoption in the history of humanity. Netflix जो इतना पॉपुलर प्लेटफॉर्म है उसे लगभग 3,500 डेज लगे. मतलब आई थिंक इट्स couple of years already, 7 years, how many? A lot of years to reach that, right? So things are being accelerated. But how does it relate to data? Well, this is very shocking. 90% of the digital data that is available today online has been generated in just past 2 years. And this is very scary. पहले humans data generate करते थे, right? हम लोग लिखते थे, बुक का डिजिटाइजेशन होता था, कुछ ब्लॉग करते थे, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. फोटो खींचो, अपलोड करो, फिर सेंसर्स भी अपलोड करने लगे, राइट? बट नाउ इंटेलिजेंट टेक्नोलॉजीज आर क्रिएटिंग डेटा ऑन देयर ओन फॉर आवर कंजम्पशन और कंजम्पशन ऑफ समवन एल्स, राइट? एंड दैट इज वेयर द चैलेंज लाइज. क्योंकि इतना सारा डेटा इतने सारे चैनल से हम लोग कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, तो डिजाइनर्स विल बी नीडेड टू मैनेज दिस डेटा, राइट? क्योंकि वरना आप कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे. मतलब रॉ डेटा तो नहीं दे सकते ना कि ये है तो ये है करके. आई हैव एन एग्जांपल दैट. सो द आइडिया इज कि डेटा को इंफॉर्मेशन में ट्रांसफर करो. ये पहले होता था, बट नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टोरीज, राइट? बिकॉज नो वन हैज टाइम. वो उनके पास 25 सेकेंड है, आपको जो बताना है. उसमें आप डेटा बताओगे तो उसको अगर इंटरेस्टिंग होगा तो ही विल टेक इट. इफ नॉट, दे आर जस्ट गोना इग्नोर इट, राइट? So I'll give you an example. This is the factual data. For example, in 2019, total waste generated was 2.2 billion tons. ठीक है, factual data है. मज़ा आया? Maybe नहीं. But if you visualize this, the same data, in a metaphorical way, where the building on the right is Burj Khalifa, and related to that, you have the size of the global waste that is generated. right? So by transforming the way, by visualizing this, you have, compressed this information and communicated whatever you want to communicate. तो इसके लिए पहले बहुत सारा स्किल लगता था, like आप एक अच्छे डिज़ाइन ग्रेजुएट होंगे जिसने सीखा होगा कम्युनिकेशन डिज़ाइन या वट एवर ग्राफिक डिज़ाइन. अभी उसका ज़रूरत नहीं है. नाउ यू कैन लिटरली गो टू एनी AI प्रोग्राम एंड आस्क कि विजुअलाइज दिस, इट विल डू इट फॉर यू, राइट? तो आपके हाथ में बहुत सारा पावर आ गया है, एंड दिस पावर इज एक्सेसिबल to almost everyone now. You just need to know English, and maybe in 1 or 2 years वो local language में भी आप deal कर सकते हो technology के साथ, right? So it's not only about the screens. So if you look at the cars that are now coming in the market, Mahindra ले लो, Tata ले लो, you will see these big screens, right? And right now आपको लगेगा कि ये तो infotainment है, but no, actually this is gonna be your future engagement screens. Just like आप मोबाइल से एडिक्टेड हो गए हम सब लोग, हम कार में बैठ के कार की स्क्रीन्स पे भी एडिक्टेड इक्वली हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि वहाँ भी इट्स अ वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेटिंग विद द सिस्टम, राइट? तो अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत ज़्यादा है इसमें. एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज कंप्यूटेशनल डिज़ाइन, राइट? सो व्हाट इट मीन्स इज कि पहले क्या होता था कि डेटा को या इंफॉर्मेशन को कम्युनिकेट करना है तो आपको एक ह्यूमन को सोच के ट्रांसलेट करना पड़ता था कि ओके, इफ आई वांट टू शो दिस, मे बी आई विल शो दिस इन सर्टन वे, आई विल टॉक इन अ सर्टन वे. बट नाउ देयर आर प्रोग्राम्स वेर यू जस्ट गिव द फाइनल रिक्वायरमेंट एंड द हाउ पार्ट ऑफ इट विल बी टेकन केयर बाय द प्रोग्राम, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट्स कॉल्ड कंप्यूटेशनल डिज़ाइन. कि वो जो बीच का जो हाउ है वो ऑलरेडी वो फिगर आउट कर लेगा. आपको खाली व्हाट और वाई देना है, वो हाउ फिगर आउट कर लेगा. सो दैट इज द पावर ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. So already from UI, जो भी लोग UI things में involved है, for example अभी technologies आ गई है जहाँ पे आप खाली sketch करो तो वो सीधा उसका software बना देगा. You just have to upload the picture, वो UI पूरा बना देगा. Similarly आप data दो तो उसमें से automatically insights extract करके आपको दिखा देगा, right? Which in earlier days maybe you will have to spend a month to do that, but now you can do it in minutes maybe, right? I'm going to skip this. And the last theme that I want to share is as a society, our behaviors are changing, and these changes are very, very fundamental, right? So one of the biggest insight that I've seen in last five years is if you don't find a way to live efficiently with technology, technology will find a way to live with you, राइट? तो हमारा जो स्क्रीन एडिक्शन है वो एक्चुअली सेकेंड पार्ट है सेंटेंस का, कि अगर हम लोग मैनेज नहीं करेंगे टेक्नोलॉजी को तो टेक्नोलॉजी विल फिगर आउट अ वे टू बी विथ यू फॉर लॉन्गर. क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी जो आप यूज़ कर रहे हो अभी उसके पीछे बहुत सारे लोग लगे हैं टू मेक इट मोर एक्सेसिबल, मोर यूजफुल, मोर हेल्पफुल एंड मोर इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर यू. जो कंटेंट कंज्यूम कर रहे हो, जो एप्स यूज़ कर रहे हो, सबके पीछे एक बहुत बड़ा टीम लगा है जो टेक्नोलॉजी को आपके लिए एक्सेसिबल बनाता है, राइट? सो देयर इज अ वेरी डेलिकेट बैलेंस बिटवीन दिस, एंड एज अ सोसाइटी दैट इज हैपनिंग टू अस. एंड आई एम श्योर सम ऑफ यू वुड हैव सीन दिस. महाकुंभ में कोई वर्चुअल स्नान करवा रहा था अपने रिलेटिव को. हु वुड हैव थॉट लेट्स से इवन 5 years ago कि कोई स्मार्टफोन लेके गंगा के ठंडे पानी में डुबा सकता है, राइट? But now it's not just thinkable. You can actually do that because technology is allowing you to do that, right? So हमारे जो belief system है वो same रहे हैं, पर हमारे जो expressive tools of expression है, so to say, वो अभी change हो गए, right? तो your phone has become your closest buddy now. उससे आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो. You would be surprised to see how much technology or AI has sort of knows about you. I wasn't I always thought कि यार ठीक है, मतलब everyone knows कि whatever you do browsing and everything, someone knows something about you, right? Because companies should know. But there is this site, they see your photos. If you just upload your photo, it will actually tell you not just about what you shop and where you are, but what got interested was it is guessing my religion. It is guessing my political affiliation. How does it know whether I support a party or that party, right? And it is very scary in a way if you think about it, कि अभी सिर्फ shopping पे बात नहीं जा रही है, अभी technology is like understanding all your social life, all your digital life, right? So for designers, it's, I mean, for people like us, it's an opportunity and also a challenge. Like there are things like privacy that you have to maintain, but the opportunity is that because you know so much about someone, you can actually do very, very personalized services for them, right? And of course, I think हम लोग AI और GPT use करते हैं, you know, we have been using it to write letters and you know कि ये छोटा mail लिख दो professionally, ये application लिख दो मेरे लिए and things like that. So we think we are outsourcing writing, but what we are actually doing is we are outsourcing our thinking, right? Because to write, you have to think. And when we ask technology to write for us, we are actually asking technology to think for us. So it's very interesting as a society. I think we'll need to figure out a way to balance this. Opportunity is ki how do we work with technology, but the challenge is should we just outsource everything? And maybe who knows, after 10 years, we don't even have the ability to not only write, but maybe not think clearly as well, right? So I think from a designer's perspective, I think there are three destinies. I call it destinies as if it was fixed, but it's not fixed. But anyways, so I think there are three ways design is leveraging, is going to leverage, you know, technology. One is जो अभी हो रहा है कि सब चीज़ों को efficient बनाओ. जो 10 दिन में काम हो सकता था, we are doing it in 3 days. Maybe एक दिन में हो सकता था, वो हम 10 मिनट में कर रहे हैं, right? But then the next crop of designers, जो लोग टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ बहुत क्लोजली काम कर रहे हैं, like you know in companies like Google, Microsoft, wherever, they will influence how to make these tools more sort of you know accessible to people, more powerful, you know, so that you can sort of leverage technology for people. And the third part is amplifying the human experience. So all these memes that I showed you, short form content, everything, how do we humanize technology? एक बहुत बड़ा question है industry में, right? Engineers तो technology बना लेते हैं, and of course you cannot like, they are primed to invent things, but not necessarily every technology is designed for humans. बीच में एक डिज़ाइन का लेयर होता है जो ट्रांसलेट करता है चीज़ों को, राइट? एंड दैट्स वेयर आई थिंक द अपॉर्चुनिटी लाइज. सो एक तो है कि टेक्नोलॉजी एंड डिज़ाइन वी बिलीव यू नो हैज़ अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गो टुगेदर. अभी काफ़ी उसमें डिस्टेंस है, बिकॉज व्हेन वी थिंक अबाउट डिज़ाइन, सर थोड़ा डिज़ाइन प्रोसेस के बारे में बात करेंगे मेरे बाद, you know, because he teaches at Dhirubhai Ambani University. But I think we think design is like कि कुछ you know कपड़े डिज़ाइन कर दिए या PPT डिज़ाइन कर दी, but it goes much deeper. There is a thought process that is involved in taking whatever concept you want to take and translating it, right? So designers will be translators in the future. कोई भी फील्ड हो, you know, मार्केटिंग है, बिजनेस है, डिज़ाइनर का जॉब होता है टेक्नोलॉजी और बिजनेस को लेके कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग you know वे बना दो sort of. And I think the biggest market or the opportunity for whoever is interested in design in your network, or if you know someone, is basically anything that would help make technology more human. I think उसमें एक बहुत बड़ा opportunity है future में, क्योंकि no one knows ये AI कहाँ जा रहा है, intelligence कहाँ जा रहा है, and of course like we are not in a position to control it, but if we know human psychology enough, if we know sociology enough, if we know design thinking enough, then we can translate all this complexity into something that is usable by people and helpful in their daily lives. All right. So with that, I would thank you for your time and attention. I really like this quote. I saw it in one of the books where, and it's true that uncertainty is where new happens. So technology is uncertain, a lot of things are changing, but I think that is the opportunity, that's where the new is happening, so we should embrace it, right? And yeah, this is my LinkedIn, so if anyone wants to get in touch, happy to. Thank you for your time.
So very good evening everyone, one and all present over here. So just a few minutes back, Mr. Dhaval Joshi talked about artificial intelligence, technology, and he used the word design so many times. In his entire presentation, around 100 times, he used this word. So each and every person has a different idea of design in their mind, है ना? कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि अगर हम अच्छा ड्राइंग बना लेते हैं तो ही इज़ डूइंग डिज़ाइन, है ना? अगर कोई लेडी हाथ में मेहंदी लगाती है नाइसली तो आप बोलते हैं कि सरस डिज़ाइन છે इन गुजराती है, राइट? बट दैट इज़ ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ डिज़ाइन. कोई रंगोली बनाता है, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो डिज़ाइन. कोई मोबाइल फ़ोन बनाता है, दैट इज़ डिज़ाइन. कोई ये रूम डिज़ाइन करता है, इंटीरियर डिज़ाइन. आप रोज़ सुबह में अखबार पढ़ते हो, दैट इज़ कम्युनिकेशन डिज़ाइन, द लेआउटिंग एंड एवरीथिंग. आप कपड़े पहनते हो, दैट इज़ फैशन डिज़ाइन. आप जूते, चप्पल, बैग्स, रिस्ट वॉच यूज़ करते हो, दैट इज़ एक्सेसरी डिज़ाइन. सो डिज़ाइन इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ, डेली लाइफ. इवन government runs a social campaigns and everything, even it is a polio or voting campaign, that is a part of social design. So design is also there. So let's start. We human as a species, we are very optimistic. Am I right? है ना? हम लोग क्या करते हैं, फ्यूचर का प्लान करते हैं, जबकि हमें वो भी नहीं पता है कि 10 मिनट बाद हमारे साथ क्या होगा. स्टिल वी आर प्लानिंग फॉर 5 years. SIP रखेंगे 10 साल के लिए, राइट? एंड वी ह्यूमन कंज्यूम सो मच थिंग्स इफ इट इज़ अवेलेबल, राइट? अगर आप यूट्यूब ओपन करते हो, देन यू फाइंड thousands and crores of video, but you won't able to decide which one to see because you are getting confused and you are saying ये सब कुछ फ्री में है, चलो देखते. आप कंटिन्यू स्क्रॉलिंग करते हो. सो एंड ऑफ द डे क्या होता है, आप 15-20 मिनट तक यू जस्ट स्क्रॉल डाउन एंड देन यू आर फॉरगेट टू वॉच अ वीडियो. द सेम थिंग हैपन टू इंस्टाग्राम बिकॉज रील्स आर वॉट 10 seconds, 20 seconds. As he said, our attention span is become very, very small. So after watching a reel of 10 seconds, our mind thinking that, something more interesting will be coming. Or if we scroll down or scroll up, we'll find some better content. So in that hope, we just scrolling down. And that is become our addiction. We are becoming addicted of the technology. This is one technology. There are so many things we are addicted of. So everybody is thinking, what is design? He said so many times. दुनिया में मेडिकल के लिए डॉक्टर्स है, इंजीनियर्स है, अपना काम करने के लिए लॉयर्स है, MBAs है, मैनेजर्स है, so many different प्रोफेशन है, that they are doing work. So डिज़ाइनर की कहाँ ज़रूरत होती? Why design? That is the question generally arise in people's mind. So, a common man says, don't underestimate the power of design. So, design is very, very powerful thing. And if we follow design in our process or even in our life also, in our profession, in our any kind of work, it will be helpful. It will make things easier. So one another thing people also thinking like design is decoration. We decorate something and we say okay, very nice. But design is actually not decoration. It's a direction. Direction to do things properly, nicely and human-centric. Because end of the day, we are designing for whom? Human. And apart from human, we are designing for this planet. So there is one more concept is planet-centric design. So whatever we do, it affect planet. है ना? प्लास्टिक की बॉटल में पानी पिएंगे, फेंक देंगे 500 years तक, it will not decompose. So that's why they are serving water in glass bottle. So we have to be conscious about what we are doing, what is we are doing, and what is the harmful effect of our day-to-day act on the environment. So that is also a part of design. We can say it a planet-centric design, right? And design isn't just what we see, it's how we change, right? So earlier, all the people, the artists, designers used to draw and sketch in paper and pencil. After few minutes, they sharpened the pencil. Then they used a different pencil color, watercolor, so many things. Now, everything is there in iPad. You have a library, you have thousands of color, all medium, all types of papers, everything is there inside. So due to this design, we have changed our behavior, right? Earlier, in the beginning of mobile phone in our country, it was QWERTY keypad. We just pressing our thumb, tuck, 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 tuck. That was the sound of earlier Nokia phone. But in 2007, when Apple phone launched, they completely eliminate keys and touch screen came. And now we all become like this. Every day, all the people, we don't care about who is standing in front of us. We are just in our mobile phone. And mobile, that is your another world. That is actually a meta world. You are, most of the people living in this meta world. That's why digital products and technology is booming. Because now it's become a habituate. Yes, and then design doesn't just making things, design makes life feel better, right? So when technology evolve, so nowadays we see everybody is trying to buy electrical vehicle, why EV? Why? Because it is environmental friendly और सस्ता तो है नहीं, technology is still costly, but they are thinking that the harmful effect of the combustion of petrol, diesel and gases is converted into pollution, air pollution. But at least by using this EV, we can minimize the effect of pollution. We can't completely eliminate, because end of the day we are using that battery. Once battery's life is get over, what to do with that battery? And that battery disposal is the headache, and that is very, very harmful for the environment. So when we thinking about designing a new thing or designing a technology, we should understand and think about its effect on the society, on the planet, on the human. So what design helps you? Design solves problems creatively, right? Creatively in the sense, people think differently. We are 30 people in this room, all 30 people thinks differently. But design, if you have a design knowledge or some kind of design degree or diploma, so your thinking is slightly different than what other people think, right? You try to make things looks nice, aesthetically better. Content will remain same, but the coverage, outer cover or packaging may be the different, that may attract the people. अगर कोई लाख रुपए की चीज़ है, आपने एक कागज़ में लपेट के दे दी, तो नो बडी वुड वैल्यू इट, राइट? बट आप 5 रुपये की चीज़ को 100 रुपये के पैकिंग में 5,000 की कह के बेच सकते हो. Guys, because people attract through the aesthetic, the feeling. अरे यार अच्छा है, दिखता है. That's why. So then communicate ideas clearly. Communication is the most important part of our day-to-day life, right? There is two type of communication. One is verbal, what we are doing. Another is non-verbal communication, and this non-verbal communication we are doing with our products. हम अपनी प्रोडक्ट से बात करते हैं रोज. सुबह में जब आप नहाने जाते हैं हम वाटर गीजर ऑन करते हैं, तो पहले क्या होता है, रेड लाइट, एंड देन रेड लाइट मीन्स गीजर ने आपसे बात की कि अभी मैं ठंडा हूँ. 5 मिनट बाद वो ग्रीन लाइट, गीजर आपको बोल रहा है आई एम रेडी. सो दैट इज द communication between human and machine. The same way human and computer interaction. आपका मोबाइल की बैटरी डाउन हो गई तो आ जाएगा रेड सिग्नल, राइट. तो और वो बोलेगा कि अभी मुझे चार्जिंग में लगाओ. द मोमेंट यू एंटर द चार्जिंग पिन इन योर डिवाइस, एक साउंड आएगा या मोबाइल वाइब्रेट होगा. दैट मीन्स मोबाइल आपको श्योरिटी दे रहा है कि मैं चार्ज हो रहा हूँ. एंड देन जब चार्ज हो जाएगा तो पूरा ग्रीन कलर का हो जाएगा बैटरी का सिंबल. दैट मीन्स मोबाइल आपको बोल रहा है कि नाउ आई एम चार्ज. सो दिस इज अ नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन बिटवीन ह्यूमन एंड कंप्यूटर, ह्यूमन एंड मशीन्स. दैट इज वाई कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी वेरी क्लियर. हमारे घर में रिमोट कंट्रोल होता है टीवी का, है ना, बड़ा सा, उसके ऊपर 100 स्विचेस. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल बाजू वालों को बोलेंगे यार देखना मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. जो सबसे ज़्यादा टीवी देखता होगा ही कैन ऑपरेट इट नाइसली. लेकिन दादा दादी होंगे वो बोले कि इसमें कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. वाई? बिकॉज इट्स कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. बट हैव यू सीन द रिमोट ऑफ Amazon Prime stick, Amazon stick? There is no switch at all on the remote. It's plain. One circle is there. Still you are doing all that operation which is done by the regular remote control. So somebody has thought कि यार ये तो लोगों को दिक्कत हो रही है यूज़ करने में. That's why he or she may design a very nice Amazon Fire Stick remote. Then enhance a user experience. So another thing is user experience means आपके घर में, सबके घर में माइक्रोवेव ओवन है एंड देयर इज अ साइड में पैनल है. थ्रू दैट पैनल यू इंटरेक्ट विथ योर माइक्रो. उसमें आप केक बना रहे हो, खाना गर्म कर रहे हो, कुछ भी कर रहे हो, राइट. नाउ दैट पैनल इज नॉट ईजी फॉर एवरीवन टू ऑपरेट, राइट. या तो वो जो आपके घर में रखने आएगा ना वो आपको एक डेमो देगा. वॉशिंग मशीन में भी ऐसा होता है ना. वंस यू बाय न्यू वॉशिंग मशीन वो आके क्या देगा आपको, डेमोस्ट्रेशन. एंड वन पर्सन फ्रॉम द फैमिली विल लर्न ओके ऐसे ऐसे ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं. बाकी के पीपल वी डोंट केयर, मतलब देख लेंगे बाद में. देन व्हेन देयर टर्न टू ऑपरेट इट दे माइट नीड समबडी एल्सेस हेल्प. यार ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. दैट मीन्स कि वो इन द वेरी फर्स्ट इंस्टेंट his or her experience with that washing machine or microwave is not good. Why? Because he or she requires somebody else's help. So the design's work is to create the interfaces or product in such a way people would not require anyone's help. वो अपने आप करेंगे. That is the design. पहले, अब तो आजकल लोग हम सब मोबाइल में बैंकिंग करते हैं. पहले के ज़माने में आप जाते थे बैंक में और एक आपको स्लिप मिलता था, और स्लिप भरना होता था. और एवरी टाइम, इवन मैं भी कभी जाता हूँ तो मैं देखता हूँ, बाजू वाले को पूछता हूँ इसमें क्या भरना है. बिकॉज वी आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट वॉट एवर डेटा वी आर इंसर्टिंग इन दैट स्लिप इज करेक्ट और राइट और राइटली प्लेस्ड. सो वी रिक्वायर समबडी एल्सेस हेल्प. हम दूसरे को पूछेंगे कि यार ये कैसे भरना है, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट. सो वो स्लीप का जो डिज़ाइन है वो अच्छा नहीं था. क्यों? क्योंकि वो लोगों को कंफ्यूज करता था. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ डिज़ाइन. एक सिंपल चीज़ है जो लोग अपने डे टू डे लाइफ में फेस करते हैं. सो टू फाइंड आउट दैट प्रॉब्लम एंड क्रिएट अ सॉल्यूशन फॉर दैट, दैट इज डिज़ाइन. आप जो ड्राइंग करते हो वो भी डिज़ाइन है. और आप किसी के लिए बहुत अच्छा एक फॉर्म, जनरली हम फॉर्म भरते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स कॉलेज का फॉर्म भरते हैं या ऑनलाइन एग्जाम का फॉर्म भरते हैं, तो पहले हम क्या करते हैं, फॉर्म का एक फ़ोटोकॉपी निकालेंगे. पहले फ़ोटोकॉपी में पूरा फॉर्म भरेंगे जेरोक्स में, उसके बाद आपको लगेगा कि यस दिस इज करेक्ट, उसके बाद ओरिजिनल फॉर्म लेके भरना स्टार्ट करेंगे. वाई? बिकॉज दैट फॉर्म इज नॉट गिविंग यू कॉन्फिडेंस दैट वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग इज राइट. दे आर क्रिएटिंग confusion amongst them. So good design is always create confidence in user, not confusion, right? So to eliminate confusion and create confidence is design. Then building a strong brand. So the advertisement and branding, we see around us on social media, on print media, even on the billboard, everything. So the रिजेम्बलेंस, मतलब जब बच्चा कोई एम देखेगा तो उसको पता चल जाएगा कि ये क्या है, मैकडी, येलो कलर का एम. छोटा बच्चा, उसको अगर पढ़ना भी नहीं आ रहा होगा ना, नीचे मैकडोनल्ड लिखा है, पर मम्मी पापा बोलते हैं ये मैकडी है, तो वो दूर से पहचान जाएंगे. अगर वो उसको नहीं पहचानेंगे तो मैकडी के बाहर एक जोकर बैठा है बेंचेस के ऊपर, तो उनको पता है कि दैट जोकर इज मैकडी, दिस इज द प्लेस. तो दैट इज द पावर ऑफ ब्रांडिंग, एंड ब्रांडिंग इज द वेरी पार्ट ऑफ design. And yes, drive engagement and action means whatever you design, the user end of the day will become a habituate of that things, है ना. आपको एडिक्शन लग जाएगी. So research says in recent time the addiction of this social media and digital screen is more than drugs and liquor. It's more than drugs and liquor, but we don't realize it. Why? Because it affect on our social life or mental life, not on your body. That's why people are not noticing it, है ना. तो जो डिप्रेशन आता है और जो मेंटल प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, तो डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी इज ऑल्सो काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स which is responsible. So how to create effective digital content that create people more optimistic, they make them more not a pessimistic. So it's all about the design, how design helps people to grow in their life. Very quick. So those people who are learning design in their academics, हम डिज़ाइन स्कूल में एडमिशन लेते हैं, आप NID चले जाओ, NIF चले जाओ, and so many other design school. So there is a process which is followed, और वो प्रोसेस फॉलो करके जनरली डिज़ाइन बनती है. एक सिंपल चीज़ है वाटर बॉटल, पानी का बॉटल. हाउ टू डिज़ाइन वाटर बॉटल, राइट. तो सबको लगता है कि ये बिस्लरी वाले जो पानी का बॉटल बनाते हैं, या ये जो कोई भी मैन्युफैक्चरर है टपरवेयर बनाते हैं, दैट इज देयर वे टू मेकिंग इट, राइट. बट सबको ऐसा बॉटल नहीं चाहिए होता है, किसी की अलग रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. सो हाइड्रेशन इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, पानी तो कहीं पे भी मिल जाएगा, किसी से मांग के भी पी लेंगे. तो कुछ लोगों की ऐसी आदत होती है कि वो भूल जाते हैं, पानी पीना भूल जाते हैं. फिर बहुत प्यास लगेगी तो उनको आलस आएगी, यार नहीं जाते हैं, चलो किसी से मांगेंगे पानी लाओ. बट उनके बॉडी में वाटर कंटेंट कम हो जाता है. कुछ लोग हाई एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, जिम में जाते हैं, रनिंग करते हैं, एंड्योरेंस स्पोर्ट्स करते हैं, दे रिक्वायर वाटर. एक टाइम के बाद बॉडी नहीं बोलेगा कि मुझे पानी चाहिए, बट इट एक्चुअली रिक्वायर वाटर. सो फॉर दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग we have to think about the bottle which reminds you कि अभी आपको पानी पीना है, right? or which tells you it's time to get hydrated. और मे बी आपके मोबाइल में मैसेज आ जाए कि आज आपने पानी नहीं पिया है, या आज आपने इतना लीटर पानी पिया है, एंड योर डेली इनटेक शुड बी 2 लीटर. सो फॉर दैट पर्पज देयर इज अ डिज़ाइन प्रोसेस क्विकली. So it's a structured series of steps designers generally follow, right? So first is empathize. Empathize mean user. पहले तो जानो कि ये बॉटल में डिज़ाइन करने जा रहा हूँ, किसके लिए कर रहा हूँ और क्यों कर रहा हूँ. क्या उनको उस बॉटल की ज़रूरत एक्चुअल है, right? एंड फॉर डेट वी नीड टू डू रिसर्च. लोगों से मिलके पूछना पड़ेगा कि आपकी पानी पीने की हैबिट कैसी है, आप कैसे पीते हो, ग्लास में पीते हो या बॉटल से पीते हो या सिप करते हो. ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन हैज़ डिफरेंट. कोई खड़े होकर पानी पीता है, कोई बैठ के पानी पीता है, कोई पानी ही नहीं पीता. सो वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द बिहेवियर ऑफ पीपल कि वो कैसे पानी पीते हैं और उनको कैसे याद दिलाया जाए कि भाई आपको पानी पीना है. सो फॉर दिस एग्जाम्पल, इंटरव्यू ऑफिस वर्कर्स एंड जिम गोअर्स. सो ऑफिस में आजकल कॉर्पोरेट्स में जो काम करते हैं, दे रिक्वायर वेरी अटेंशन इन देयर लैपटॉप एंड कंप्यूटर. पूरा दिन बैठ के काम करते रहते हैं. और जिम वाले कसरत करते हैं. तो उन लोगों का इंटरव्यू करके पूछते हैं कि भाई आपको कैसा पानी पीना है, और ऑफन फॉरगेट टू ड्रिंक इनफ वाटर एंड फाइंड रेगुलर बॉटल्स इनकन्वीनियंट टू क्लीन. बॉटल क्लीनिंग का भी प्रॉब्लम रहता है ना. कभी हम क्लीन करते ही नहीं. अगर क्लीन नहीं करेंगे तो वो अनहाइजेनिक हो जाएगा, पर वो हम सोचते नहीं. तो लेट बॉटल थिंक. बॉटल को खुद को ही सोचने दो कि भाई मैं गंदी हो रही हूँ, मुझे साफ करने का टाइम हो रहा है. So after empathize, you have to define the problem. So active professionals need a reusable water bottle that reminds them to hydrate and easy to clean and carry. हाथ में आप आराम से कैरी कर पाओ. 1 लीटर का बॉटल उठा के आप नहीं चल सकते, लेकिन छोटा होगा 750 ml 500 ml यू कैन विद विट. आजकल तो स्टाइल स्टेटमेंट है. आप कभी भी देखो, आज तो वो बड़े जग आ गए हैं विथ सीपर्स. कोई भी जितने भी सेलिब्रिटीज़ लोग होते हैं वो सीपर्स लेके घूमते हैं साथ में. ठीक है, वो सीपर्स 100 रुपये का भी मिलेगा आपको अहमदाबाद में, और अगर आप नाइकी का खरीदोगे तो 35 से 40 हज़ार रुपये का भी आएगा. इट्स दैट रेंज. सो ट्रेंड्स भी बहुत इफ़ेक्टिव है चीज़ों को लेके. ऐसा नहीं कि हमने ये बना दिया और मार्केट में पॉपुलर हो जाएगा. नहीं, कुछ चीज़ें पहला मार्केट में पॉपुलर होती है, फिर उसकी डिमांड बढ़ती है, एंड देन डिज़ाइनर सोचते हैं कि चलो अब इस एरिया में कुछ करते हैं, बिकॉज पीपल आर नाउ कैरिंग बॉटल विद दैम. सो फर्स्ट आइडियासन होता है. आइडिया हम जनरेट करते हैं कि कैसी बॉटल होनी चाहिए, उस बॉटल में कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी होगी, बॉटल कैसे साफ़ होगी, बॉटल यूज़र को कैसे बताएगी कि तुझे पानी पीना है, क्या मोबाइल के थ्रू मैसेज भेजेगी, क्या बॉटल में वाईफाई होगा, क्या बॉटल में ब्लूटूथ होगा, क्या होगा. सो ये सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज़ डिज़ाइनर्स पहले सोचते हैं, राइट. एंड देन एक प्रोटोटाइप बनाते हैं. नॉट डायरेक्टली तो हम किसी चीज़ का प्रोडक्शन तो स्टार्ट नहीं कर सकते. फर्स्ट वी नीड टू क्रिएट अ प्रोटोटाइप. वंस वी क्रिएट प्रोटोटाइप, we give it to the few users to just check it कि उन्हें कैसा लगता है. ऐसे ही यूजर्स को देना होता है जो जिम में जाते हैं, और 5-10 दिन बाद वो वापस करेंगे बॉटल, और हम उनसे फिर पूछेंगे कि हाउ इज़ योर एक्सपीरियंस, आप क्या चाहते हैं कि इसमें कुछ और ऐड किया जाए या जो है उसमें से निकाल दिया जाए, ये आपके लिए कन्वीनियंट है, मटेरियल कैसा है, आप जब उसको पकड़ते हो आपको क्या फील आता है, आप कॉन्फिडेंट फील करते हो या एम्बेडेड फील करते हो, क्या आपको बॉटल को हाथ में उठाने का मन करता है. ऑल दिस थिंग्स हैज़ टू बी कंसिडर, राइट. देन वंस वी गेट अ फीडबैक फ्रॉम द यूजर्स, वी फाइनली कम अप विद द प्रोडक्ट. दैट इज द बॉटल, smart bottle. There is a LED reminders. You can see this circle, black circle, and outer is the light. So after you have to set it 15 minutes, 30 minutes. After every 30 minutes, it will start glowing. It is in front of you. So it reminds you, अच्छा मुझे पानी पीने का time हो गया. And if you don't notice it, or you are out of your cabin or somewhere, it will send you message in your mobile that it's your time to hydrate. So एक बहुत ही सिंपल एग्जाम्पल था बॉटल का, बट आप देख रहे हो उसको भी डिज़ाइन करने में देयर इज़ ए प्रोसेस. ऐसे ही नहीं बन जाती चीज़ें. एंड वी हैव टू कंसिडर हम किसके लिए बना रहे हैं एंड क्यों बना रहे हैं. सो दिस इज़ हाउ डिज़ाइनिंग इज़ हैपनिंग इन द इंडस्ट्री. हर चीज़ में हमने कपड़े पहने हुए, ये टेबल बनता है, ये लैपटॉप बनता है, तो द सेम प्रोसेस एवरीबडी इज फॉलो. एम्पथाइज, ideate, then we define, we prototype, we test, and then finally we implement. Here we are talking about this physical product. It is applicable to digital products. It is applicable to system also. Right? सिस्टम को भी आप डिज़ाइन कर सकते हो. आप इंडिगो में ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, लेट हो गया 5 मिनट 10 मिनट 1 घंटा लेट हो गया, पैसेंजर हंगामा कर देंगे, तो वो लोग क्या करेंगे, एक सैंडविच दे देंगे, है ना, बिस्किट देते हैं, कुकीज़ देते हैं. क्यों? ताकि आप शांत हो जाओ. तो दैट इज़ द सिस्टम ऑफ कस्टमर मैनेजमेंट. तो समवन हैज़ टू डिज़ाइन दिस सिस्टम कि यहाँ पे जब ये कंडीशन अराइज होगी, यू हैव टू डिलीवर इट. आधे घंटे देरी हो गया, सैंडविच दे दो. 1.5 घंटे हो गया, सैंडविच के साथ कुकीज़ दे दो. 2 घंटे हो गया, कोई भी एक रेस्टोरेंट के साथ टाइप होगा, वहाँ पे आपको छोले भटूरे सर्व हो गए. दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पे ऐसा ही होता है. सो दिस इज द सिस्टम, एंड सिस्टम डिज़ाइन इज ऑल्सो वेरी पार्ट ऑफ डिज़ाइन. ऐसे कोर्स भी चलते हैं, स्ट्रेटेजिक थिंकिंग, स्ट्रेटेजिक डिज़ाइन मैनेजमेंट. सो यस, this is design, and we are living in the world where design is very part of it, but people don't know. आपको समझ में नहीं आता कि डिज़ाइन कहाँ पे यूज़फुल है. और डिज़ाइन, नाउ डिज़ाइन इज इमर्जिंग एज अ कैरियर. लोग डिज़ाइनर बनना चाहते हैं, है ना. यस, सो डिज़ाइन द क्वाइट फोर्स, आपको दिखता नहीं, बट दैट सेव्स आवर वर्ल्ड. ठीक है. सो ये सब चीज़ें जो बातें हमने करी, एक्चुअली मैं यूनिवर्सिटी धीरूभाई अंबानी यूनिवर्सिटी DA-IICT में आई एम प्रोफेसर ओवर देयर, एंड दैट इज़ वन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कोर्स, दैट इज़ इंटेलिजेंट यूजर एक्सपीरियंस डिज़ाइन. व्हाट मिस्टर धवल said, what I said, it's a 2 years full-time master's program like this, Master of Design in Intelligent User Experience Design. It's a 2 years program, and it is a multidisciplinary. That means people of any age, people of any educational background can take admission in it. आपको लगता है कि ग्रेजुएशन इज़ रिक्वायर्ड, बट अगर आप BA हो, BCom हो, BSc हो, इंजीनियर हो, डॉक्टर हो, you take admission and learn design and then implement in your profession from where originally you are. So yes, this is what design is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Rana and Mrs. Joshi. My name is Deepak. I represent AMA as a Public Relation Committee member. Do we have any questions for our distinguished guest? Yeah, please. Please.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful evening. I would like to say a few things like a design. My question is like, can we have a presentation first thing? Both of that presentation is very nice. Some of them I took photographs, some points I wrote. So that's my question. And question is like a design is different for the different age group. Is it true?
Yes, but design can be different for different age group of people, but some products has to be create a universal, right? So say mobile phone, So mobile phone can be used by an infant of 1.5 years age, or a grandfather of 85 years age, or the youngsters, all the middle-aged people. Everybody can easily use the mobile phone. So that means the mobile phone is designed in such a way that people, despite of their age group, can use it easily. So yes, but there are something which is very age specific. That can be जैसे छोटे बच्चों के खेलने के लिए खिलौने, that is for the age group. जो एडल्ट लोग होते हैं उनके लिए जब वो बीमार होते हैं या बेड रिडन होते हैं, तो there are products which cater to that age group and that kind of people. So yes, but most of design should be a universal and not the age. Design should cater all kind of people with disability, right? Some people can't see, some people can't speak, can't hear. So we have to consider them, right? क्योंकि आपके मोबाइल में जो वॉइस बटन होता है ना, that is for the people who can't see. उनके पास मोबाइल है, वो बोलेंगे ए सीरी इसको कॉल लगा दो, कॉल लग जाएगा. हाँ, so मोबाइल में जो स्पीकर का बटन होता है, माइक, उससे क्या कर सकते हो? अगर आप सपोज आपके पास हाथ ही नहीं है, तो आप एआई को बोलोगे कि मुझे ये कॉल लगा के दो, वो एआई आपको कॉल लगा के दे देगा. तो उसके लिए फिर आपको ना दिखाई दे तो भी चलेगा, बस आपको इतना पता है आपके पास मोबाइल फ़ोन है एंड यू स्टार्ट कन्वर्सेशन विद पीपल. सो यस, डिज़ाइन कैन बी different for all other age group of people, but most of the industry, most of the designer try to design a universal which caters all things.
Yeah, sir, please.
I have a good presentations and very
Thank you.
useful, both of you. I have one question for Mr. Joshi and one for Mr. Rana.
Sure.
The first question to Mr. Joshi, you mentioned this, the use of generative AI, which is ChatGPT. The danger there is obviously that it can be used as a prop rather than a tool. So, and that can curb learning, can curb creativity, and so on and so forth. So from a student's perspective, what do you think should be done in order to encourage students to not abdicate their own creative thinking and use artificial intelligence to do their job? For example, I am a teacher, so I see a lot of students for their projects they use ChatGPT and get away with it. And very often as teachers, although there are possibilities of finding where it has been used, yet it becomes very difficult. So what are your views on that? That's one question as far as you're concerned. Mr. Rana, my question to you is that you gave a wonderful example of the water bottle and the importance of design in a water bottle. But in today's day and age, you think there is still scope for research to be done at a physical level, or can artificial intelligence help in using already data that is already there, design the bottle accordingly?
So yeah, very good question. And research is important. Either you are using generative AI or using other tools or a traditional method of research. But research is important. And you see, the entire design process I've shown, the bottle and everything, it is generated on AI. I have used AI tool to generate this. Yeah. Just to give example of this, how AI can do this. AI can do everything, but there is some research which require human intervention, and that is to find out the problem, because AI don't think, AI just perform its task. आपने prompt डाला, AI ने आंसर दे दिया. बट रिसर्चर्स का वर्क क्या है कि क्या सोसाइटी को किस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है, ह्यूमन को किस चीज़ का ज़रूरत है. First we have to identify the problem, define the problem, and then we try to find out solution, and in that finding out of solution process we can use generative AI.
Sir, thank you for the question. Actually, I'm also struggling with that because when I teach, from past, so after moving back to India, that's I think now 5 years already. I started teaching here, and I've seen that transition in terms of the output that students are getting there. So I see this as let's compare this to the skill of driving. If you give a teenager keys of the car, he will figure out how to drive. I have absolutely no doubt about it. But we all know what would happen if a teenager tries to drive himself, learns how to drive himself, right? So there has to be a process or a way to teach how to use a vehicle. And I think the same thing applies here also. So technology is coming up. Just like we cannot live without cars and automobiles, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, three-wheeler. It's part of our life. We simply cannot. So GPT, AI is going to be like that, just like our mobile phones have. So there is no point trying to add friction to the process and saying that, no, you cannot, let's stop all the students from using, AI in their assignments. I think the secret lies, and I'm not saying that I have solved the problem, but where I have gotten success was to change the kind of assignments that we give to students, right? So instead of saying that give me that one final output, if we tune that assignment to say that, you know what, you use GPT, but you find 10 different ways to do this, right? Show me the process. And from that 10, you reduce to 5 or 3 or whatever. So when students will go through this process, at least they will qualitatively know what choice they are making between the output, that 10 output that the AI has generated. So that part can be offline. That part can be done in real time. For example, I have had classes where the assignment was, let's say, write a one-page essay of some topic. Obviously, no one writes. They just use a GPT. But when I say that, okay, you bring 3 versions of it, and we're going to discuss, which one is better. So at least they will read something out of it, right? Instead of just saying that you give me this output and I'm going to see this and give you, like marks on top of that. So I think the focus should move from the output that we see as success to the process. Just like in driving, like have you shifted gear at the right time? Are you applying brakes and accelerator at the same time? Don't do that. There is a method to it. And I think we have forgotten that method. We have focused only on the output. Somehow we have done that. And now maybe it's time that we focus back on the method and increase, the quality of output, so to say. So that one way has somehow given me some hope in how to, navigate this challenge of GPT and education. That's a very good point. Would you say that project-based learning is better than class lectures in this context?
As long as we can document the process, I think that would be a good, you can say, choice if this was just classroom versus hands-on. Because in any case, the real learning happens in studio environments, especially in some subjects. I'm not saying all the subjects. Some theories do require you to sit and absorb the knowledge. But you see, because everyone is so exposed to social media, like we were talking, the attention spans are very, very less, right? So how can we communication design? How can you communicate the concept in such a short period of time and then let them take over, let them have the feeling of ownership that they are driving their own learning. But focus on the method, that you show me 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and these steps are not so easy. It's not 1, 1, 1, 1. You show me the variation, we talk, and then you go to the next step. So I think that offline-online thing might actually work better than the current system that we are in.
Because in our education system, what happens? We teach them theory, even in school, in college, engineering, medical science. But not everybody can visualize what actually is written. So if we gave them an example or some kind of visual or some kind of model, so they can easily understand by seeing that. Even in mathematics, we prove theorems and so many formulas. But there is always a question in students' mind, where is the application of this formula? हम बड़े होके कहाँ पे इसको अप्लाई? So अगर स्कूल टाइम में ही हमको पता चले कि यस ये जो फॉर्मूला आप पढ़ रहे हो बहुत छोटा सा है, but that the same formula is applying when you are launching a rocket into the space. तो स्टूडेंट को मजा आएगा कि अच्छा यार ये तो हम 7th स्टैंडर्ड में आता है. It is like that. So real life examples and applications is most important in our education system. Thank you.
Sir, as Mr. Joshi said that ChatGPT, you give the students for example, 4 options. But ChatGPT also makes 3-4 options also. If you give a command, it will give you 10 options. Just, yeah. So, of course, this life is same. Like mobiles have come and we have lost our memories almost. So, the side effects are bound to be there in our lives. That is for sure. And secondly, very good explanation of this design concept. But I have some inputs that of all the designs, there's point number 1 is every one of us are designer.
Designer, yes.
Yes, we do design every
In a
day
different
of
way.
ours.
Yes, yes.
So the topmost design that should be taught, of course, is a little different subject, is your own life.
Of course.
Is your self.
Yes.
Is your day. Is your month. Is your year. What you want to become.
So,
And
yes,
so-
you are absolutely right. When you go to
Yeah.
any design school, in a foundation program, the first subject all the design school teach to student is first observe yourself.
Yeah.
First learn your life, your problem, your ambition, your dreams.
What you want to be.
Yes.
My son, I will give you a short example. He was not interested in study. Finally, he said after 12th or something, he said, I want to go learn design. And he did design from Italy, graduation. And then now he's in marketing somewhere. So he tried to do business and he thought he's not good at.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
design teach
Today.
that thing also.
Yeah.
कि after learning a design course or graduating from design colleges, it is not necessary you do that thing only. You have the n numbers of opportunity there, and you can build up your career.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now the last question, and I would like to ask the last question to Mrs. Joshi. Mrs. Joshi, I observed and noticed one of your slides that outsource everything. So, in reference to this slide, I want to understand. Could you shed some light on how thinking in this context correlates with intelligence, and how it contributes to stimulating innovative design solutions?
So there are 2 kinds of intelligence, and I think it's a very interesting question. So one is normally when we talk about intelligence, we are talking about human intelligence, right? And the human intelligence is powered by, of course, different personalities, our background, what kind of education, ideas, family, etc., or even society or place where you live is influenced by that. However, when we talk about intelligence that is coming from a technology, right now we are calling it AI, but generally I'm talking about technology intelligence, right? So then it gives us an opportunity to borrow IQ, which means I might be an average guy, right? Who is maybe born and brought up in, I don't know, Bhavnagar, right? Maybe no exposure to the world. But now with technology, I can borrow the intelligence, the same intelligence that is available to someone sitting at MIT, because the tools are the same, right? That is the power of intelligence now, right? So the only delta that we have is how to use this intelligence. And if we figure that out, right? So the program that Professor Rana is leading, that is absolutely about that. The idea is, I think we need to teach ourselves and our sort of next generation in how we leverage these tools, so that we can come up with design solutions that are matured, more effective, and perhaps are not limited by our human intelligence, Because if my intelligence is influenced or limited by the boundaries of my exposure, sitting here in Ahmedabad, I only see certain things. But now I have access to something that's available in the Silicon Valley, right? I only need to know how, right? So that how part is AI is solving that, and we are just getting started. I think, a lot of, especially for India, I think we will see a lot of interesting startups, innovations, products coming from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because they have found that now they can express themselves, they can build things which they did not have access to maybe 5 years ago. So if you look at YouTube, you look at Instagram, the kind of influencers or creators, people, creativity or intelligence is maybe limited by our upbringing or our exposure, but access to something like this can just break those boundaries and amplify our, you can say, knowledge and skills to create many fold effective solutions. And I think that's what is going to happen in future. And perhaps I think technology or intelligence is going to be a great equalizer for everyone. It will not matter if you graduated from Harvard or you graduated from a local university. If you figure out a way to use technology intelligence, you have equal opportunity to make it big, financially, emotionally, socially, whatever that is. So yeah, I'm very optimistic about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Rana and Mr. Joshi, for enlightening this session. I would also like to thank the audience for coming today and attending this insightful session. Thank you so much.